you don't want to see a baby working so hard to roll over. The movements are not adding up. So working with the baby in the rolling over course, she's getting closer, okay? But this is about as far as she's getting on her own now, whereas before she just stayed on her back. We still got a heavy head. We've still got some mechanics that we need to work out. But with the vision and what she's doing, like, she just should have just flipped over. And you can see where it's just not happening for her. And so this is just an indicator that they need some movement help, that you can, you need to help optimize their development a little bit. And that's where I've just been using the movement lesson rolling over course for optimal development. So I'm going to work with the baby here. Am I going to do it right? I'm going to work with a soft touch and rotation, but I don't remember any of the rolling over exercises off the top of my head. I mean, I kind of do in the moment when I'm working with her, but I'm not going to not work on her because I don't know what to do. I just always come in with weight transfer and a gentle touch and just work on that, going back and forth and just feeling. This is really all about feel, and does it feel easy and gentle? Now, when you're working with weight transfer, it helps, if you imagine your hands in a circle and just think of a point, in the center of your hands, so that would be a point in the center of the body. And what you're trying to do is you're just trying to move the body around that center point. That's like the water bowl technique that Michelle talks about. But what you're looking for is it feeling easy and balanced as you're moving your child back and forth, just doing that weight transfer. So she's really heavy here through the back, even though she has her head up. But this is where I'm definitely not Michelle to totally evaluate my baby and be like, XYZ is going on. And that's okay. I'm learning to become like Michelle. And I'm learning different aspects of development and movement and things like that. And so I know I can come in with confidence and just influence her system, even though, I can't remember exactly all the exercises for rolling over. If Michelle were to get her, okay, in 5 minutes, she'd be like, oh, blah, 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 help her with this. And that's okay that you and I cannot do that, but it shouldn't stop you from helping your child develop any way you come in touch, work with them, even if it's an amateur touch. As long as you have rotation, you're just giving them the structure needed to be more mobile, to be more coordinated, to have more function. And it's not just affecting now, it's affecting their future. Any second that I work on her right now, her future is already changed for her movement potential. She's starting to feel a little bit lighter in the chest, and you can see all I've been doing is just weight transfer. Coming up to her head a little bit. She gets really heavy on the right side, and so I'm just doing weight transfer from the chest to the side of the head, just trying it out, just being okay, intuitively, I know that's an issue, and two, I've done the NMA on her quite a bit. So even just going from here to the other side of her head, it just feels really easy for her. Or this other way, it just doesn't. It doesn't feel easy. And so when you feel that, to you it feels like you're not doing it right. And so then you're like, oh, I can't do movement lesson. I'm not doing it right. No, it's you getting your first movement experience, your intuitive movement experience of feeling the lack of movement in your child's system, just the trial it is for them to move. And sorry, my kids are yelling. Now she's just getting mad and tired being in that position. Her head keeps going down and it's really heavy. So because I know the head is heavy, I'm just going to come in here and do weight transfer in the head. That's all I'm working on. I'm not doing anything fancy. The big thing you want to create for your child is movement structure. And what is that? Movement structure is just, it's giving your child the ability to move in all directions. It's giving your child the ability to orient in all directions. When you have movement structure, the baby doesn't get stuck. So that's one indicator that your child doesn't have optimal movement structure, is you see them get stuck in certain positions. So you saw with her trying to roll over, she was getting stuck. She couldn't complete the roll over. And so the entirety of the movement structure wasn't there. I explain more the movement structure in the support program, so if you're not in the support program, you can go through the old Zoom recordings and we talk about movement structure, things like that. But that's probably been one of my hardest things to like get from Michelle, because she talks about like it's all about how your child's processing movement. It's all about their structure, and like to look at a child and be like, I don't know what that means, like, or even at myself, like, what is my structure? I don't know how to tell. And so as I've been studying the mathematics, like now I have a visual for movement structure. So let's see if she goes here. Now this is actually a move I remember from training, one of my very first ones, because I just wanted my daughter to roll. And Michelle was teaching me this, and I'm like, I don't know how to do that. Like, she has structure. So you saw how she rolled over. She had that nice arch. We just came over. Well, the first time I did movement lesson, like, my baby was just so low tone, like to do this, I still had to be here like holding her up to be like, yeah, we did tummy time, like, but still the head was just like falling forward. So like it was so hard to like even try and work on the performance of it. It was just like, okay, we'll just lay here on the side and give you the experience as if you rolled all the way to here. But she never really came off the side without a lot of support here. And so it's okay if you're working through like the rolling over exercises and things like that, and you don't like get the performance of it. The thing of the exercises, it's you're giving your child the experience as if they had the performance, and if they have the structure for the performance, they will. This baby does. My first baby did not. Well, my first baby, when I found movement lessons, did not. Which can make it a little challenging to learn movement lesson and get out of that mindset of like, I have to see the performance to know my child's getting rolling over. Like, no, that's just not always how it's going to work. But for my first baby, when I came into movement lesson, Julia, and you know, she can get to this point almost, like she can have her head up for like seconds. It's awesome. But she's 6 years old, and so to even get to that performance, like for her, it took 6 years to get to this performance. Whereas this baby, it's not taking that long, obviously. But you know, if I was waiting for the performance, I would have given up on movement lesson a long time ago, because my baby just couldn't do the milestone performances. But that was, you know, movement lesson was my saving grace, because Michelle was saying, like, you can give your child the experience of development without performances, and then you're still seeing them progress and grow in their own way, but it's still progression and not like a plateau or just like nothing. Because that's just really frustrating as a parent. So I'm just here working with the baby. Her chest is starting to feel a lot lighter, and all I've been doing is weight transfer. Like, I'm not doing anything tricky here. And two, when you work with Michelle, she doesn't do anything tricky. She's just working on movement structure, enhancing that, making it more optimal. And really just working on those planes. So like, one of the movement structures is your child's ability to roll from side to side. Her ability to come up and to come down. Okay, that's a movement plane. To go from side to side with the head. That's part of movement structure. And you can see as she's rolling over, or even just coming up into that tummy time, like all those different movement planes have to coordinate to have a performance. And they have to do it in a certain time frame. To have it be successful. And that's where the vision really comes into play, because the vision can initiate, or is what initiates the sequences of movements to create a performance. And so if the vision isn't there, the performance can be slow or really awkward or off. So I get asked, how do I do this on the floor? I know Michelle says don't be on the floor, but this is where my kids are at, so I just do it on the floor. And it's just been a lot of practice and movement lesson on the floor that Like I just have an endurance for it, so it comes. Here I'm just working with her vision. She's looking at her dad and her sister, and I've found that when I work with her vision, the heaviness in the head helps. And so, like just working on the head isn't enough. Like I've really had to incorporate the vision side of things into her head movements. So I'm just working with her. And two, she really struggles with just upper vision. Like she's bringing her head up, but there's still difficulty there. You can see it more so when she's on her back and things like that. So I'm still working on that vision structure and those visual planes. I would like to get her in to see the ophthalmologist, but she just looks too good. My doctor's not going to do it. So while I'll still push for it, I just keep working with my kids at home. And her chest is definitely getting a lot lighter. See how I can come in under here? So that's really nice.